If you walk into a modern car dealership today, you are walking into a financial slaughterhouse. Take a look around the lot. You'll see rows of gleaming, aggressive-looking SUVs and trucks with stickers that seem like typos. But they aren't. The average new car in America is pushing $50,000. To make those numbers work for the average family, dealerships are locking buyers into 84-month loans with interest rates that rival credit cards. Think about that. A 7-year commitment for an asset that starts losing value the moment you turn the key. But the price tag is not the worst part. The worst part is what you are actually getting for your money. When you buy a modern car, you are not buying a mechanical asset. You are buying a rapidly depreciating smartphone on wheels. You are paying for a software subscription you do not own that tracks everywhere you drive, and that is mathematically designed to financially destroy you the second the warranty expires. The industry wants you to believe this is progress. They want you to believe that a car that monitors your every move and requires a dealer software update just to change the oil is innovation. It's not. It's a trap. But a quiet rebellion is building in garages and driveways across the country. Mechanics, financial pragmatists, and smart drivers are completely opting out of the modern automotive market. They are using a strategy called the pre-screen loophole. And today I am going to show you exactly how it works. The touchscreen trap, cost-cutting disguised as luxury. To understand the loophole, you first have to understand the trap. Look at the dashboard of any vehicle built after 2018. The physical gauges are gone. The tactile air conditioning knobs are gone. The heavy plastic radio dials are gone. In their place is a massive glowing touchscreen glued to the center console. The marketing brochures will call this minimalist or a digital cockpit. Automakers will tell you this is a luxury upgrade. That is a lie. The truth is much more cynical. A single cheap glass screen is dramatically cheaper to manufacture than 30 individual copper-wired analog switches. By removing physical controls, manufacturers save hundreds of dollars per vehicle in wiring, plastic molding, and assembly time. This is a corporate cost-cutting measure disguised as innovation, and it is a ticking time bomb for your wallet. Consider the simple act of adjusting your temperature. In a 20-year-old car, if your air conditioning knob breaks, you go to a junkyard, grab a $5 plastic dial, pop it on, and the cold air blows again. It's a mechanical fix for a mechanical machine. But in a modern vehicle, the climate controls are baked into the software of that touchscreen. This creates a single point of failure for the entire vehicle. When the screen inevitably delaminates from sitting in the sun, or the cheap internal processor fries from a voltage spike, you lose your heat, your defrost, or your radio. The car becomes effectively undrivable. You can't clear a foggy windshield in the winter if the software won't load. And when you bring it to the dealer, they cannot repair the screen. They replace the entire infotainment control module and hand you a bill for $3,000 to $4,000. At that point, if your car is 6 or 7 years old, it hasn't just broken down. Your car has been mechanically totaled by a software glitch, the data harvester, the surveillance state on wheels. But the expensive repairs are just one side of the coin. The touchscreens are just the bait. The real scam is running quietly in the background. We used to think of cars as tools for freedom and privacy. That era is over. Every vehicle rolling off the assembly line today is equipped with built-in telematics and a constant cellular connection. You are driving a 4,000 LB data harvester down the highway. Manufacturers aren't just selling you a car. They are using you to generate a secondary stream of high-margin profit. These systems actively monitor how hard you brake, how fast you accelerate, and exactly where you go every single day. And the horrifying truth recently became public. Major automakers have been secretly packaging this driving data and selling it directly to data brokers like LexisNexis, who then sell it straight to your insurance company. This isn't a conspiracy theory. It's a business model. Drivers across America are watching their insurance premiums double overnight, not because they caused an accident, but because their own car reported them for braking too hard at a yellow light. The betrayal is total. You are paying $50,000 for the privilege of being surveilled and extorted by the machine sitting in your own driveway. Your car has become a snitch that reports your driving habits to a corporation that uses that data to drain your bank account even further. If the electronics don't get you, the mechanical engineering will. The mechanical engineering under the hood is just as disposable as the screens on the dash. In the past, engines were over-engineered to last decades. Today, they are engineered to meet a regulation. To hit extreme government fuel efficiency mandates, automakers abandoned heavy-proven engines. Instead of a lazy, low-stress V6 or V8 that could run for 300,000 miles, they are cramming tiny, highly stressed three-cylinder turbocharged engines into massive sport utility vehicles. These tiny engines have to work twice as hard to move the same amount of weight. They run at higher temperatures and higher pressures. The extreme turbo pressure blows head gaskets. This frailty extends to the transmission. Manufacturers are pairing them with continuously variable transmissions, CVTs, which are essentially glorified metal rubber bands instead of real interlocking gears. While a traditional automatic uses solid steel gears to transfer power, a CVT relies on friction between a belt and pulleys. Over time, the friction inside continuously variable transmissions grinds the metal belts into metallic glitter. When that happens, you don't fix the transmission. You replace the entire unit at a cost of $5,000 to $7,000. These drivetrains are grenades with 70,000-mile fuses. The entire modern car market is a trap, but there is an escape hatch. Defining the pre-screen loophole, the golden era. The pre-screen loophole targets a specific window of automotive history. Mechanics call it the golden era of manufacturing from roughly 1996 to 2008. Why these specific years? It's the perfect intersection of technology and simplicity. Why 1996? That is the year the government mandated OBD2 diagnostics in every car sold in America. This is crucial for the DIYer or the independent mechanic. Vehicles from this era have modern electronic fuel injection, meaning they fire right up in the dead of winter. They aren't temperamental like old carbureted cars. They have computer sensors you can read with a cheap $20 scanner from any auto parts store. You don't need a proprietary dealer subscription to know why a check engine light is on. They have airbags and modern crash safety, so you aren't sacrificing your family's protection. But the reason 2008 is the cutoff is equally important. Because they were built before 2008, they carry zero digital poison. No touchscreens, no cellular modems broadcasting your location, no automatic start-stop systems grinding your starter motor at every red light. In a golden era car, the car works for you, not the manufacturer. They use physical steel keys, thick copper wiring, and analog gauge clusters you can read at a glance. If a light bulb in the dash goes out, you spend 50 cents on a new bulb. You don't spend $4,000 on a new infotainment unit. You get all the reliability of modern engineering with none of the surveillance or fragile electronics. The analog legends. What to buy? So, if you're ready to opt out, what exactly do you buy? You look for the analog legends. You aren't looking for status symbols. You are looking for mechanical immortality. Open Facebook Marketplace and search for a late 1990s or early 2000s Toyota Camry or Honda Accord. You want the 4-cylinder models. These aren't just used cars. They are masterpieces of reliable engineering. These engines use thick cast iron or heavy aluminum blocks with timing chains instead of fragile interference belts. They are mated to traditional hydraulic 4-speed automatics with real physical gears. There is no metallic glitter here. These drivetrains are famous for clearing 300,000 miles on nothing more than regular oil changes. If you need a truck, look for a late 1990s Chevrolet or GMC with the 5.7L V8 Vortec engine. This was the pinnacle of the American small block V8. Alternatively, look for an early 2000s model built before the disastrous active fuel management cylinder deactivation software that destroys modern GM engines from the inside. You want an engine that runs on all cylinders, all the time, using proven mechanical parts. If you want a large sedan, look for the ultimate loophole vehicle. The Ford Panther platform, the Crown Victoria, the Mercury Grand Marquis, the Lincoln Town Car. There is a reason these were the only cars used by professionals for decades. These were engineered specifically for police departments and taxi fleets. They feature body-on-frame construction, like a heavy-duty truck, and a massive unstoppable 4.6L V8, running at incredibly low stress. Because they were fleet vehicles, every replacement part is cheap and available at every auto parts store in the country. You can find a pristine garage-kept Grand Marquis from a retiree for $4,000, and it will outlast a brand new $80,000 luxury SUV. Executing the escape, how to buy. Here is how you execute the loophole. It requires a total shift in mindset. First, you change how you pay. You do not finance. Financing is how they trap you in the 84-month cycle. Instead, you save $5,000 in cash. That is your ticket to freedom. You avoid the shiny dealerships with the balloons and the predatory finance managers. They have nothing for you but debt and data harvesting. You buy directly from private sellers. You look for the person who has owned the car for 10 years and kept every service receipt. You look for the physical indicators of a forever car. You test the tactile experience. You want a metal key that turns a mechanical ignition cylinder. You want chunky plastic knobs for the air conditioning that clunk when you turn them. You want to feel the mechanical connection. Look for a traditional gear shifter that pulls a real steel cable connected to the transmission, not a digital rotary dial. If it feels like a machine and not an iPad, you're on the right track. When you buy a 20-year-old analog car, you are not just saving money. You are severing the data pipeline that lets automakers track you, monetize your driving habits, and hold a remote kill switch over your property. You are taking back control of your mobility. If you are learning something from this, hit subscribe. I cover the engineering scams and financial traps hidden inside everyday purchases every single week. Now, the automotive industry is not the only cartel using the illusion of modern technology to drain your bank account. The exact same playbook is being run right now inside your kitchen. If you want to see why the appliances you bought at Home Depot are mathematically guaranteed to fail, and how to execute the brand loophole to beat the appliance monopoly, click the video on your screen right now.